For the angle beta, sine of beta is equal to 0. Give two possible values for beta. In the range, beta is greater than or equal to 0, and beta is less than or equal to 360 degrees. And so we have sine of beta is equal to 0, and our goal is to figure out what must beta be in order for us to say that sine of beta is equal to 0. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take sine inverse of both sides of this equation. So we have sine inverse of sine beta, and we have sine inverse of 0. Next, we cancel out the sine inverse. So let me show you that. We cancel out sine inverse and sine, and that leaves us with beta is equal to sine inverse of 0. And when we put sine inverse of 0 in the calculator, we get 0. And so that means that beta is equal to 0. Now, what does that tell us? That tells us that if we say sine of beta, we put that inside our calculator, or sine of 0, and we put that inside our calculator, it's going to be 0. So what must beta be in order for this equation to be true? Well, beta must be 0. So that means that one possible value that satisfies this equation is going to be beta is equal to 0. So when beta is equal to 0, sine of beta is equal to 0. And so now that we have one possible value in this range, let's figure out another one, because they asked us for two possible values. It says now that we know one value of beta that satisfies the given equation, and we know that one value of beta that satisfies this equation is 0. So now that we know one value of beta that satisfies the given equation is 0, to find the other solution to the given equation, we will use the useful trigonometric identity below, which says that sine of 180 degrees minus a is equal to sine of a. And so in this case, we are going to use this trig identity. Now, what do we know? We're going to let a equal to 0 degrees, and that's our first possible value. And so that means that sine of 0 is equal to sine of 180 degrees minus 0, which means that sine of 180 degrees is equal to sine of 0. Now, what is sine of 0? When we put that inside our calculator, we get that sine of 0 is 0. And so that means that sine of 180 degrees is equal to 0. And so that means that we found another beta such that when we put it inside of the sine function, we get 0. And so this beta is going to be 180 degrees, because when we take 180 degrees and we apply the sine function to it, we get 0. So that means that this is another value that satisfies this equation, because this equation is saying find a beta such that when you apply the sine function to it, you get 0. And we found an angle, a beta, such that when we apply the sine function to it, we get 0. And that angle, that beta, is equal to 180 degrees. So sine of 180 degrees is equal to 0. And so we know that sine of 0 is 0. And we know that sine of 180 degrees is equal to 0. So those are two possible values for beta that satisfies this equation. And so beta is equal to 0 and beta is equal to 180 degrees. These are two possible values for beta in this range such that sine of beta is equal to 0. And that's the answers. And those are the answers to our question.